What's going on, guys? Raiden here, and today we got a game of Modern Warfare 2 Domination on Wasteland. And I would just like to start off by saying that I play pretty reserved this game because in Modern Warfare 2 there is no theater mode, so when I record I pretty much have to get a gameplay if I want one for Modern Warfare 2. And that tends to make me play much more cautious and campish than I would like and that I normally do, but gotta do what you gotta do to get a gameplay, and I was lucky enough to get one this game, and I have another Modern Warfare 2 game, but unfortunately it's Domination on Wasteland, so I figured I might as well post one of these now, get it out of the way, and give some time for you guys to refresh on Black Ops before I post another Modern Warfare 2 game. But wasn't going to talk about the gameplay because I had a few updates to give you guys, and then I wanted to launch into a topic. So the updates, I just wanted to say that it seemed like you guys all enjoyed both Episode 5 of the Script Chronicles and my montage. Toom did a really good job editing it, and I liked it. And there was some constructive criticism for him, but there usually is with montages because those things are kind of hard to make perfect. There's always things that you can improve on both editing and the player, so I will take those tips in stride, and hopefully Toom will see those and do the same. And it seems like Episode 5 of the Scrub Chronicles was very well liked. They usually are, but as I've mentioned before, sense of humor is something that's hard to hit home with everybody, and honestly, I thought that Episode 4 was funnier, but at the same time, it all depends on what you find funny, so Episode 5 may have hit home for some of you, and some of you may have thought that Episode 4 was better. I don't know, it just seemed like it was well liked, and the general consensus was that it was well done, so I appreciate you guys for the support, and I will continue to post Scrub Chronicle episodes, and most of my friends have the new map pack now with Zoo and Convoy. I know the Xbox is way past that, but PS3 players haven't really gotten into that a whole lot, so I will be getting some Scrub Chronicle clips for those, and as well as zombies if I can get some funny clips for that. So now on to the topic that I wanted to talk about. So I was sitting on the couch with my mom watching the news, and I've mentioned before that I don't watch the news, but when I'm with my mom in the living room, that's what she always watches, so generally I'm stuck watching the news. But there came a news flash on that said there was a bill that was introduced in California that would try to ban the sale of violent video games to minors. And this was so ridiculous that I started laughing pretty hard. And when you look at this sentence, or when you look at this news flash, you think, minors, what does that mean? Well, the rule is already that people under the age of 17 are not allowed to buy rated M games. That being said, this news flash is obviously implying that this bill was trying to push forth a rule that would ban the sale of violent video games to anyone below the age of 21, which I think is completely ridiculous because if you think about it, 17 and up is a very good age for the rule that they have now because you're pretty mature at age 17 and you can handle most of the things that you see in violent video games. Basically, this bill went to the Supreme Court, which I think is completely ridiculous because I don't know if these people that brought forth this bill have looked at our country lately, but I think our Supreme Court people have much better things to be doing than dealing with a bunch of pissed off soccer moms who want a bill changed about violent video games for their kids. Just saying. But anyway, the Supreme Court ruled against the bill, saying that video games are given the same First Amendment rights as books and films, which is completely understandable, and I completely agree with that fact, because not a lot of people know that the video game industry makes more money than both the music industry and the movie industry.
Oh, come on.
And that obviously doesn't mean anything because no matter how much money something makes someone, it's best to be treated fair in every case. And it took me a while to think about the fact that they were trying to get the sale of video games banned for people below the age of 21. I thought it was 17 at first, which kind of was part of the reason why I thought it was so ridiculous, but I still think it is to this point in time. But the people that rate video games are the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or the ESRB. But it's an independent rating board, like the MPAA is for movies. So the companies, both of the rating companies for video games and movies are self-regulated. And, I think they are very accurate in the way they rate their material because there's a big jump between teen games and M games. Teen games, you may have some blood, some violence, maybe like a word like piss or damn here and there. But other than that, you're not going to really venture out into the major things until you get to the rated M games, and I think that's the way it should be. And it's the same with PG-13 rated R movies. Now, I will say that PG-13 movies can go a little far sometimes, but most of the time, the rating board does a pretty good job of estimating what they should rate a movie, and they're usually pretty accurate. And when you look at this from a kid's perspective, I've always thought that kids under 17 shouldn't play rated M games. I think that is a fair rule. And I was playing Xbox Live with my friend a couple weeks ago. I don't have an Xbox, but he's my roommate, actually. And he was playing free-for-all. I just said, give me the mic, I want to mess around a little bit. So I was messing around, talking to people, and there's this little kid, and I said, how old are you? All I heard, his mic cut out, and all I heard was Evan. So I thought, 11. And I said, oh, so you're 11. He said, no, 7. 7 years old, and he's playing Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, not to mention that this game is rated M as it is, so his parents are letting him play this rated M game, which he shouldn't even be able to play until 10 years from now. Plus the fact that he's playing it online, which is where he's going to hear things much worse than what the game already says. And I found that unbelievable. I can understand why these parents want to put this bill forth, but video games are not the reason for violence. Now, if your kid wants to go out and shoot somebody because he killed somebody in Grand Theft Auto, he's got problems of his own that you need to address. The job of a parent is to regulate what kind of things their kids do. I mean, it's not the government's job to sit here and regulate the kind of games that kids of America play. That's the parents' job, and the parents need to do a better job of it. And, I mean, what's next? Like, the government's gonna sit down and say, okay, we need to regulate how many veggies the kids eat each day. I mean, is that the next bill that the parents are gonna push forth? It's really stupid, and it's a waste of the Supreme Court's time, in my opinion. And obviously this is kind of a rant, more of an opinion thing, but this is how I feel, and I feel pretty strongly about this subject. You know, and I'm not denying the fact that video games are violent. In fact, I think a lot of them are very, very violent for video games nowadays. I mean, you know, I never have a problem with how violent a video game is, but I got my first rated M game when I was 15 years old. And the only reason that my mom bought it for me was because it was 24 the game. If any of you guys remember the show, or maybe that game specifically, the game came out for PS2, and the only reason I got it is because my mom and I are really big fans of 24, at least before it went off the air. And so I told her that game was coming out, and she said, okay, well, you know, I'll get it for you just this once because it's 24. And that was kind of a gateway into me getting more rated M games, but it was nothing to the point where my mom was like, okay, I'll buy you this game because it's rated M, you know. I never really took off with rated M games until I was 17 when I can buy them myself, and even then, it's not like I searched for rated M games, it's just the fact that a lot of the good games nowadays that you can play online or something with a really good story mode are rated M. You know, unfortunately for little kids, that's just the way it is, but I don't think that 7-year-olds or anybody below the age of 17 deserves to be online sitting there talking crap to somebody who's 15 years older than them because they're hiding behind a Bluetooth mic. To me, it's just wrong for parents to sit here and try and throw off their responsibilities by making the government pass a bill that will regulate the amount of violent video games that are sold to the people that are under the age of 21. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the game, and I know this was quite the rant, but it was a topic that I felt I wanted to discuss and maybe get your guys' opinions on. So what do you guys think? Do you think that video games are too violent, that they should be banned for people under 21? Let me know, because I really like your guys' opinions on it. But anyway, guys, have a good day, and I will catch you later.